very big welcome to the second in this year's series of Get Ready for Race Equality Week 2023. We held our opening event back in May, so this event is a follow-on from that and just building the momentum and helping share ideas and mechanisms to try and get your organisation for having as productive a Race Equality Week as possible. If you didn't attend the May event, do check out our YouTube channel for the full recording of that event. I'm Raj Tulsiani, Chief Executive of Green Park and the co-founder and chair of Race Equality Matters. Today I'm joined by my Race Equality Matters co-founder Javid Thomas from the Collaboratory, who you just heard as the warm-up act. I'm also delighted that today we're going to be joined by our team behind the scenes, as well as some expert speakers. Martine Cole and Nicola Hinton from the Vale of Glamorgan, which was a Race Equality Week 2022 Spotlight organisation. The Vale of Glamorgan are also one of our inaugural Safe Space Trailblazers. You'll hear more about that and their story later on. Thank you all for joining us today. It's fantastic to have so much support. We're expecting over 100 organisations. Attendees include ethnically diverse colleagues from across the UK, senior leaders, D&I specialists, and allies from a whole range of sectors, which demonstrates the importance that everyone has a part to play in both in Race Equality Week and in the measurement of impact and ensuring that this topic doesn't get slided under something else. We want to make sure, as we always say here, that we're helping create a movement and not just reflecting a moment in corporate consciousness. Today's session, hopefully, will be action-packed, certainly will be fast-paced, and I'm hoping also will be interactive. We always have polls, so you know who's in the room. You'll hear from Martine and Nicola. There will be some collaborative discussions, some idea sharings, as well as a few videos. We'll also be giving you an introduction to Trailblazers, our exciting new initiative, and time permitting, an opportunity for Q&A. We do tend to finish on time. So if you're all here at 1:45, that's when it will be ending. As you may already know, we co-create concepts and solutions in collaboration with those who have lived experience of racial equality, of racial inequality as well. The key is to help organisations make the impact we all want to see and feel. So we're very much around impact solutions that can be implemented regardless of where your diversity maturity is an organisation. So where there is the will, our product should help you access the skill. Just to briefly introduce those solutions, the first is Race Equality Week, the reason why we're here today. The second is Safe Space, which in summary is a 2-hour structured, facilitated dialogue between 3 to 5 ExCo board members and up to 10 ethnically diverse colleagues. It's structured in a protected environment that enables brave conversations, uncomfortable discussions, and more importantly, it's action focused. And we always suggest that people try to do that in Race Equality Week. So Race Equality Week also becomes a place for pause, reflection, and measurement, to just see what has worked and what hasn't. The third is the Big Promise, which is all about turning words into action. More about this later. It's really a leadership commitment, a personal commitment to make things more transparent and accountable. And fourth is Tea Break, which enables organisations to get a real live pulse and hear how its people are thinking and feeling on key issues, avoiding expensive surveys, which often don't have really high levels of engagement. This provides key insights into what meaningful action is requested to take things going forward. And the fifth is My Name Is, which is all about the importance of pronouncing other people's names correctly and using phonetic spelling to support this. Powered by Green Park and in collaboration with the global PR firm Edelman, we launched an amazing phonetic tool to support the My Name Is campaign during Race Equality Week this year. And we're blown away by the response, not just in terms of people's personal stories and journeys around micro-incivilities and microaggressions, but we also tracked 50,000 social posts with over 1.7 billion impressions, and it's still going strong. So this small group of volunteers is really changing the culture and organizations by giving people tools that are working and that are proven to make a difference. So to find out more, please do have a look at our website. All of this wouldn't be possible without the support of our partners. So a big thank you to all of them, especially Lifetime Visionary Partner British Telecom, Auto Trader, the DMA, Edelman and HS2. Their support means that you can act as individuals, you can access these resources for free, but we are a not-for-profit and very keen indeed, and in fact in need of further funding to keep going. So if your organisation would like to get involved and help support the work and aims of Race Equality Matters, please do get in touch with Javid or the team to find out more. So as is normal with all these things, a bit of housekeeping. We'll be recording this event for you and other people to access along with slides and videos. If you have any questions along the way, please do put them in the chat. Your sound will be auto-disabled until the discussion groups. And finally, please do feel free to tweet and post social media content during or after the event. You'll see our handles on the right-hand side of the screen. Your support for our free services means that we can, A, unite more people and organisations to be part of this movement, to accelerate change, and critically, as I said before, in organisations where there is an increased will, we can give them a really inexpensive way of increasing the skill to actually make a difference and the empathy and expertise that goes with that. So we always start with a poll. So if you can answer the questions, we'll share the results with you.
Thank you all for doing the poll. As we can see here, just over the majority identifies ethnically diverse or appropriate equivalent, and that's 54% and 46% as allies, which is quite normal for our events. So great to have the mix, which is really important because we have to do this together. Those attending today, 41% are diverse and inclusion professionals, 24% race network members, 17% are senior leaders and 18% from HR department. Again, a mix across the board, which shows that Race Equality Week is for everyone. Question 3, is Race Equality Week in your organisation's diary? 69%, so just over 2/3 say yes, 14% are unsure. So we hope by the end of today's event, we will bump this number up. 4, did your organisation participate in Race Equality Week early this year? 38% said yes. So again, the 69% within the diaries is nearly doubling the numbers, which is fantastic. And the majority here are saying that they didn't participate last year. So again, fantastic that the majority are now looking to take part in 2023. A whole mix of reasons why you have all joined today's event. At the top is 81% to get ideas, and we'll do our best to make that happen. But I'm sure by hearing the other speakers and you co-collaborating, that will be possible. 73% to be learnt, and 68% to be inspired, and 36% to be given hope for change. That's 1 in 3 of us here today are looking for hope for change. And 43% want to be empowered, and we believe that the solutions and the opportunities and ideas you'll get today will enable you to be empowered for your organisation. Question 6, do you feel your senior leaders and managers are committed to tackling race inequality? So actually this is one of our lowest scores. It's usually in about the 60% mark, so only 45% are saying yes. So still the minority. 46% of you think a little but not enough. So hopefully Race Equality Week and other Race Equality Matters solutions will help bump these figures up, because senior leaders and managers are crucial to driving the change we want to see and feel. Question 8. In your organisation, who do you think is playing a key part in tackling race inequality? So the top end, 62%, and nearly 2 in 3, it's the ethnically diverse colleagues are driving it. And 54% see the D&I function. 39% see their leaders as playing a key part, and only 22% their managers. Sadly, 22% feel very few or no one is playing a part in tackling race inequality. Question 9. In your organisation, are your allies making an impact on tackling race inequality? 58% feel very few are making an impact, or there's no action at all. So that's 58%, so nearly 2 in 3 of allies are not making a real impact. 35% believe a fair number of allies are making an impact, which is positive. And only 7% feel the majority of allies are making an impact. This is a new poll question we're asking. So what we'll look to do is to track this over the next few months. Final question, number 10. Has your organisation done anything that's made a noticeable impact in tackling race inequality? So positively, 51% feel yes, which is great. Only 15% saying no, 34% unsure or not really. But it'd be great to hear from those that feel their organisation is making an impact, to hear, learn and share what is working. So thank you all for taking part in poll 1.
So I'm going to introduce Race Equality Week. When we started and we set out to create Race Equality Matters, we carried out in-depth research with around 170 senior leaders, race network chairs, and diversity, inclusion, and race experts, as well as hundreds of initial conversations, focus groups, and surveys. We've got a lot of data. The findings at that stage are really bleak. The majority of people couldn't name a single organisation that was good for race equality. That's across all sectors in the UK. Many people still experienced racism and microaggressions in the workplace and disadvantaged because of the colour of their skin or where they're from. People have changed the narrative. We're now seeing a lot more effort, whether that effort is heartfelt or to improve financial output. It's difficult to tell, but there is effort. And we believe, if organisations are saying a lot of words, signing up to things, there's lots of PR gesturing, but in general, we think if you just put that effort in the right place, we'd see some progress. When we started it, we wanted to move organisations and leaders from just talking about race into taking measured, specific, smart actions that created both trust and meaningful change. And it's been clear that everyone has a role to play in this. Hence this year's theme, it's everyone's business. This is one key reason why Race Equality Week was created in collaboration with those with lived experience across a spectrum of organisations, industries and sectors. In a true sense of collaboration, to keep the momentum and drive for change going, we also know that there needs to be less talking and more action. Hence, our sub-theme is always action drives change. And the measurement, particularly the impact measurement of that, is kind of a critical thing that we say again and again and again. And regardless of how early on in the diversity journey your organisation is, if you can get them to do that one thing, then you've got a strong start there, because once what gets measured can get improved. So I'm going to hand over to Javid, and we're going to start off by playing a quick video highlighting what we did in Race Equality Week 2022, and then from there we can get into our speakers and other organisations. So, Claire, if you could please play that video.
They were some of the highlights of the second ever Race Equality Week. We've now engaged with over 3,500 organisations, reaching over 1.5 million employees in the UK alone, had over 3,000 event registrations with attendees, as you can see, from across the globe. 96% said it was helpful to hear from our speakers, so they were learning something from it, and 95% would recommend the Race Equality Week event. So we know there's loads of events out there, but they're saying these are the events to come along to. As the theme we focused on was actually not just words, 92% said they would look to implement something they had learnt from Race Equality Week. So 92%, which is fantastic, and testament to the expert speakers we had. This year, we want to even more organisations involved so we can continue the momentum to drive race equality. We're often asked, how can people help? And one way you can do is by spreading the word of Race Equality Week and Race Equality Matters through your networks, and also by ensuring and encouraging your organisation to get involved if they aren't already. Next slide, please. We mentioned spotlight organisations earlier. So each year we shine a spotlight on those organisations that are engaging in activity during Race Equality Week. We feature them on our website, social media in the lead up to Race Equality Week. So as mentioned earlier, our speakers today are Martine and Nicola from the Vale Glamorgan, who were spotlight organisations last year. Next slide. By being a spotlight organisation, your organisation and plan activity, we can raise a profile of Race Equality Week and encourage and inspire other organisations to get involved and learn what you're doing. So that is another way you can help us grow Race Equality Week 2023. So if your organisation would be interested in being featured as a spotlight organisation, please let us know. Thank you. Next slide, please. So I'm delighted to introduce our fabulous experts, Nicola Hinton and Martine Coles. If you could kindly unmute yourselves, please. Thank you. They're trailblazers from their organisation, Vale Glamorgan, are trailblazers. So Martine Coles is the Vulnerable Groups Manager in the Vale Glamorgan Council. She's worked for the council since 2008 and has started her teaching career in London in 1999. As Vulnerable Groups Manager, Martine supports and challenges schools to be ambitious for the pupils in the Vale. In addition to managing a team of staff, she's the chair of the council's network called Diverse. Nicola Hinton is a corporate equality lead for the Vale Glamorgan Council. And after spending some time working within HR, Nicola enjoys working with the council's staff networks to develop a more inclusive workplace culture. So we're thrilled to have you both here today from different perspectives. Please put the spotlight on Nicola now, please. So first question to Nicola, why did the Vale Glamorgan decide to take part in Race Equality Week early this year?
Well, through attending its meetings, we were aware that Race Equality Matters provided some really practical and well-structured solutions, and we felt our organisation was ready to use them. So for us, Race Equality Week provided that opportunity to put those into practice. And in particular, we used the week to hold our first Safe Space meeting and also to launch #MyNameIs.
Thank you. So you touched upon Safe Space meeting. Martine, what activity did you run during the week? And more importantly, what impact did you notice?
Okay, we had a few activities that week. We started the week, and you saw a picture of him just now. The chief execs sent a message on our internal communications, and then what was really good was we had an equality champion, one of our elected members in our council. She gave a really good proactive statement about making sure that Race Equality Week was a really good opportunity to raise the profile of tackling issues that affect Black, Asian and ethnic minority colleagues in the council. We had a big promise, and Nicola's already said about we had some My Name Is, and we publicised the Diverse Network, and the chief exec did a roundup of the week. But what I wanted to just touch on was the Safe Space meeting. So if we're thinking of how we can support colleagues going forward for next year, I wanted just to focus on the Safe Space meeting because it was a 2-hour facilitated discussion, and the aim of the discussion was to open up an honest, and I mean properly honest with a capital H, conversation about race equality in the organisation, but in a really positive, constructive way, because we wanted to make sure that if we're going to have tricky conversations, it's done as safely as possible. So members of the chief executive of the council which include directors, met up with Nicola, my colleague in corporate qualities, and members of the Diverse Network, the steering group. So that was ethnic minority employees, but also allies as well. And we agreed actions. Now, part of the safe space was making brave, courageous, sometimes crazy suggestions and hope that it was okay. And one of the suggestions from the network was about mandatory race awareness training that touched on unconscious bias. And when it was put forward, there was tumbleweeds, and the executives were like, yeah, well, we'll commit to that, and we will make a real conscious effort, which I felt was really important. And we also talked about the visibility of ethnic minority colleagues and making sure that people felt valued. So what was the point of the week? For me, Race Equality Week made sure that there was real commitment. And I don't want to repeat what you said, Javid, about action, not about action, but it was a real action fueled week. It wasn't just a talking shop. So when the chief exec gave the roundup, as an employee, as a teacher, it felt like we'd made a difference and we're making real progress. So for me, that's what we did, and that's what the impact was.
Brilliant. Thank you, Martine. Nicola, so as the theme for this year is everyone's business, so really importantly, how did you engage senior leaders to take part in 2022?
Well, for us, we've got a fairly formal structure. So it was a question of writing a report on what it was all about and why it was useful to participate. Unfortunately, in terms of what was going on in the organisation, it really fitted very nicely because our senior leadership team were very supportive and welcomed the initiative of part of its ongoing work to make the organisation more inclusive.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. And Martine, do you have any ideas or plans for Race Equality Week 2023 that you could share?
We do have some ideas, but rather than just talking about specific ideas, what's got to be behind the ideas is we've got to be proactive as an organisation and be properly committed and sustained. So it's not just one-off things. We want to make sure that we review the safe space and run it again, but keep evaluating the actions, because what we didn't want to do was make promises, especially if people have put their head up, literally just spoken up. We wanted those actions to be real life. So what we want to do 2023, we want to carry on with the safe space conversations, because for me, they made a real difference. So we keep doing that, keep evaluating the actions, and keep talking and really listening.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. And finally, Martine, so there's a lot of initiatives, a lot of diversity weeks, days, months throughout the year. So why should organizers have a lot of choice? Why should other organizations get involved in Race Equality Week if they haven't done it before?
Okay, I'm going to be really honest and say that why should people do it? It's more than the right thing to do, but if people are going to do it, they need to understand it's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging. And I would say the real benefit of taking part as an organisation is it makes people want to stay. It makes people feel important and heard. And what I would want to feedback why people do it, I want to tell you how it made me feel, because as has been said, I've been teaching a very, very, very long time. And as a teacher, there have been many times in my career that I've felt invisible. Now, taking part in Race Equality Week, and especially the Safe Space Week, it made me feel properly visible, and it made me feel valued and truly heard. So I think, why should organisations do it? If it makes people like me, like Nicola, feel heard, then that's a really good reason on a human level why we should do it.
That's brilliant. I think something I said, yeah, it's more than inclusion. It's all about feeling like you belong. So thank you both for sharing, Nicola and Martine. So next slide. As previously mentioned, we're going to create the opportunity for you all to collaborate, share and explore ideas. We are solutions focused and always looking to showcase organizations that are driving impactful action. And Race Equality Week is a time when we elevate and share great initiatives that organizations are driving. We often hear about them by speaking to the Race Equality Matters community. So we'd like to hear if your organization or you know of an organization that has taken action that is driving race and tackling race inequality. So what we're just going to ask, if you could share in the chat your organization name or an organization you know is doing it, what they did, just in a bullet point, the action taken and the impact. So just for a minute, if we could just go in there, and what we will do is, we will look to build from organisations that believe they're making a difference. And I think I saw in a poll that Raj ran earlier is about 50% feel their organisation is making an impact. So if you just write it in the chat, organisation name, action that was taken, and then that'll be great. Okay, thank you. So I wanted to introduce you to the big promise. So firstly, the Vale of Glamorgan launched Safe Space, which they mentioned during Race Equality Week, and they are now Race Equality Matters Safe Space Trailblazers. So here's in the feed, we'll provide a link of how to find out more about the Safe Space solution, and I'll touch upon later difference. Well, actually, the difference between Safe Space and Tea Break, because someone did ask the question, is Safe Space is a more intimate group behind closed doors. Tea Break is more for everyone to participate, and it's run more regularly. Different themes, different times. We have a couple of videos on our website for Safe Space and Tea Break, which in 3 to 4 minutes should explain the difference on that. We know a number of organizations go from Safe Space to Tea Break, and then some go from Tea Break to Safe Space. So those that mentioned it, they are sort of interlinked, so the observation was fair. Okay, so as this year's theme is, it's everyone's business, and that's really important. Another Race Equality Matters solution is the Big Promise, which was created to enable everyone to play their part in tackling race inequality. So if we just show an introduction video to Big Promise, thank you.
The Big Promise is a UK-wide initiative where organisations and their employees commit a promise to deliver real impact on race inequality in their workplace. Race Equality Matters Community has reviewed 15 charters with over 200 commitments that are measurable and will create meaningful change, from which we have identified bespoke sets of magnificent 7 promises for board members and executives, senior leaders, allies, and ethnic minority employees. We also have the Big Promise Guide. This guide, co-created with those with lived experience through research, it provides step-by-step support. The guide consists of 3 phases and 7 steps. The benefits of the guide are clear accountability, clear and transparent aims, simple but effective approach, transparent and measurable commitments, and an opportunity to hold senior leaders to account.
that video again is available on our website for you to share with your colleagues and contacts, etc. The idea by implementing the Big Promise is creates an opportunity for everyone to play a part to address race inequality. And Race Equality Week is a great time to do this. And again, it's evidence it's everyone's business. So there's a how to do it right guide that takes you through steps. And again, that is available from our website. I'm now delighted to introduce a video of Denise McCausland from Croydon Council. And I've seen she's put some suggestion in there as well. So I'm going to give a virtual wave to Denise. So Croydon Council are another one of our trailblazers and a previous Spotlight organisation. If you came to the launch event for Race Equality Week early in the year, you may remember Denise, or we had technical issues with Denise. So we have now recorded the interview because we think she had some fantastic stuff to say. So what we'd like to do is share the interview we did with Denise. Thank you.
Race Equality Week facilitates an organisational focus on race, and that's positive and motivational for racialised staff who get a sense that they matter, and also provides insight and education for organisational leadership and allies. Croydon's last Race Equality Week, there was a distinct buzz in respect of all the pre-publicity that we generated prior to that. Via the My Name Is campaign, which was adopted by allies and leadership, and also the launch of the Equalities Pledge, which took place during that week as well. Attending the Tea Talk virtually, all you could see was actually a sea of Race Equality Week backdrops from staff at all levels, and it actually really struck me, and it really made me feel quite proud. And I was told later that that was actually a first for the organisation. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why Race Equality Week is so important. Okay, so the impact of Race Equality Week 2022 is that it drew the focus to racialised staff and career progression. And that was through hearing at the Tea Talk about the lived experience of staff that had worked really hard by undertaking positive action programmes and other opportunities such as comments to further their career, and were really concerned that they were still in the same place. What that actually led to was a new positive action strategy, and that was the first strategy in over 2 years. And also there was a renewed focus on diverse interview panels. We also had the opportunity to promote the George Floyd Race Matters Pledge, which we launched on the 25th of May. And on a micro level, I have a team member, and when I started 9 months ago, he's an ally, and he said he wanted to be an ally, but he wasn't really that knowledgeable about equalities, and he needed to develop that. And since Race Equality Week, he has a backdrop for every single designated Equality Day. Some weeks I even look at him and say, okay, is it that week? You know, so he's actually promoting equalities now, and that's as a result of Race Equality Week. So it actually had a real impact on the organisation, both on a macro level and also on a micro level. Race Equality Week 2023, you know, as an organisation, we're definitely looking forward to that. At our recent launch of our George Floyd Race Matters Pledge, we collaborated as a local authority with our partners from statutory services, community and voluntary groups, and our theme was positive male African and African Caribbean role models. So we worked with our partners from business and the community, and they actually read out our pledges for us. And they also said what each pledge meant for them. And it was really inspiring and very, very powerful. And we also promoted some young talent from local schools. it was such an uplifting event for all attendees that I really feel that I'd like to do something similar, or we should do something similar for Race Equality Week. But the idea is to do that, weaving into this the activities from the George Floyd Race Matters pledge into sort of a public progress report. And we thought we could actually link that in to the big promise in a way that makes us say, well, okay, we promised you that this is what we would do, and this is our progress so far. So yes, I think for Race Equality Week 2023, it'd be really positive to have a collaborative event with the local authority, its community partners, and also the community. I would definitely recommend that organisations get involved in Race Equality Week. I'd say it's a great time to start or renew conversations about race. It's a time of education, it's a time of celebration, and also motivation for all staff, both racialised staff and allies, and an opportunity for racialised staff to actually feel proud of who they are. We found it really easy to create a real buzz around activities, namely the tea talks and also the guest speakers that we had. And we also found it was a very good opportunity to either promote or to launch initiatives. And I think finally, I'd really have to say that Race Equality Week for us at Croydon was actually really enjoyable. And it was actually a really positive time in the organisation, and is now firmly embedded in our organisational cultural calendar.
Brilliant. Thank you, Denise, and hello again in the audience for that. You may have heard about the 21-day challenge. And if you came to our Get Ready for Black History Month event back in July, you'd have heard Natalie Watt speaking about introducing the idea at Equans, EQUANS. We will provide in the chat a link to the video if you didn't see it. We know that many organizations are tight for time and want help with ideas when it comes to planning activity. So we will be creating a Race Equality Week 5-day Race Equality Challenge, which you can access and run internally as part of your Race Equality Week activity. So, and I did see some of the suggestions or requests of help organizations want in the chat. Some of these 5-day challenges will help with that. They will be typically a 5-minute activity to engage with all colleagues each day. They will include videos, articles, and activities to help your employees reflect and take action to drive race equality. They will be bite-sized and accessible to maximize colleagues' level of engagement. And as we said, it's everyone's business. So there'll be things like microaggressions, getting people's names right, and other subject matters which we will share with you shortly. So watch this space. In a sec, we'll be going into a breakout session for you to share some thoughts and ideas with each other. But many organizations are comfortable and know how they can engage their organization and colleagues in Race Equality Week, but we are often asked for tips and guidance. So with a number of new organizations here today, we thought it may be helpful to share 6 key tips. So tip 1, identify your Race Equality Week lead and leads, and we think it should be more than one person. Engage senior leaders, like the organization we've heard from, how their senior leaders got involved, and then determine what role can they take to support Race Equality Week. Create a working group. As I said, don't take it on your own. It shouldn't become a burden. It should become, a community working on this. Step 4, identify activities you could run during the week, and it can be just one activity, but make it meaningful and impactful. Step 5, promote Race Equality Week in advance in your organization. And step 6, share your activity, before, during, and after, especially on social media and at Race Equality Matters, etc., in your social media, so we can promote and champion what you're doing. Okay, so now on to an opportunity for you all to collaborate and share ideas. In a minute, you'll be automatically placed into a breakout room with 8 people for 8 minutes. We'll have an opportunity to get great ideas from each other and co-collaborate. It will be quick and dynamic and hopefully help you develop a wealth of great suggestions to help you all plan for Race Equality Week. We suggest someone volunteers to be a chair, more to be sort of timekeeper. You should have your names on your Zoom, etc. So please don't spend time introducing yourselves because that will take up the whole 8 minutes. We'll give you a 1 minute warning before the end. When you go into the room, any second now, we'll recommend you take yourselves off mute and go straight into discussion group. Some of our speakers today may join your groups. They're not there to chair, they're there to participate and learn from yourselves as well. So the discussion is, what could your organization do during Race Equality Week? So what could your organization do during Race Equality Week? So some of you may have thoughts or ideas or done things in the past. So this is another chance to grab ideas from each other and think, oh, actually, that's a great idea. And this is how the 21-day challenge, or which ended up becoming now the 5-day challenge, came about, just by people sharing an idea. So we'll go to your groups and you'll have 8 minutes. Thank you very much. Okay, brilliant, great. Thank you all for that. Hopefully got some good things there. I think really interesting group I had. One thing that someone did say, actually, sometimes they had some plans for Black History Month, but maybe not enough time to implement them, so they can take them ideas forward, or actually is to build from what you might have done during Black History Month and keep it going. Yeah, and also it's worth knowing, so all our solutions, we have a mini 3 to 4 minute video on our website. So again, to help show it to you internally the organization, to sometimes other decision makers or D&I leads or HR leads or senior leaders, maybe show them one of the videos if you want to run Big Promise, Safe Space, Tea Break, etc. So okay, that's fantastic. So thank you all for that. As you mentioned, there's a new initiative we created, which is Trailblazers, which is about hearing what organizations do that's making the impact and what's being successful. So as you know, Race Equality Matters aims to turn declarations of commitment and support from organizations and individuals into meaningful action. We also want to recognize those organizations that are driving meaningful change. That's why we launched Trailblazer Accreditation. It signals an organization commitment to tackling, to taking action on race inequality and making an impact. It works like this. Organizations will submit an application form via online based on key criteria that the ethnic diverse community have said this is what determines whether an organization is making an impact. Each application is reviewed and scored independently by an ethnically diverse panel of judges. So Race Equality Matters don't judge it. It's an external independent panel. And I see some of the judges are in the audience today, so hello, judges. The panel decides which organizations are making genuine and impactful inroads into tackling race inequality and then deserve the Trailblazer accreditation mark. There are 2 types of Trailblazer status. The first for organizations that have successfully run a Race Equality Matters solution. So you'll be recognized for Big Promise, Safe Space, My Name is Tea Break, etc. Next slide. And the second one covers organizations that have run something that's impact. It could be one of our solutions or other initiatives like we heard today. You have to apply for bronze initially, and then you can move on to silver, gold, and platinum. And the idea is to keep momentum going. You don't live off it forever, you know, and you've got a period of time to hang on to your award and then move to the next one. Otherwise, it will be stripped from you because it means you're not making continued meaningful impact. So next slide. So following our first wave of applications in the summer, we have our first Race Equality Matter Trailblazers. We have just been receiving the autumn wave, so we'll be going through them next month or 2. So these were the first organizations, and if you go onto our website, you will see what they did. And I guess this is what our judges said, well, this is what good looks like, or this is what they'd like their organizations or other organizations to be doing. Okay, thank you. So if we can just go into a final poll, please. Thank you for completing poll 2. So did today's event help you? So 79%, so the majority of you felt they've got some ideas, which is brilliant, and 49% feel they've learnt, and a further 49% feel inspired. So hopefully this has helped you with your planning for Race Equality Week. Question 2, do you think your organisation will take part in Race Equality Week 2023? It's now 79%, so it was, I think 69% had it in diaries, so it's now gone up to 79%, which is fantastic. And no one's saying no. Question 3, when do you think you'll start planning Race Equality Week? Quite a spread here. So 18% of you have already started, which is fantastic. 24% will do in September and October, and the majority will be November to January. From experience, the earlier you start it, hence why we're doing Race Equality, get ready for Race Equality Week now, the more impactful you can make the event and the week. What is great, not a single person here today is saying their organisation will not be taking part. Question 4, which of the following may you consider doing? So quite a spread here, but the top 3, My Name Is 55%, 51% Save Space, and 57% the 5-day challenge. And again, nearly half of you, the Big Promise. So from hearing from our brilliant speakers and what we're providing your organisations, it looks like there is something for everyone. Do you think Race Equality Week will help make an impact on tackling race inequality in your organisation? 77% think it'll be a catalyst for change, great deal, or significant impact. So collectively, 3/4 of you believe it will help tackle race inequality in your organisations, which is fantastic. Question 6, would your organisation be interested in being a spotlight organisation for Race Equality Week? So 1 in 3 of you are. Only 7% said no, 58% unsure, and we appreciate quite often you have to get internal permission. But do keep in touch with us so we can showcase and shine a light on what your organisations are doing for Race Equality Week. Question 7, which things will be of interest? So 49%, so 1 in 2 of your organisations here today interested in finding out more about Trailblazers. 1 in 3 applying to be a Trailblazer organisation, which is fantastic. And 19%, 1 in 5 of you posting on the jobs board. So thank you for contributing to that question. Question 8, what do you think will make an impact during Race Equality Week? Some really good feedback here. So 76% of you leaders demonstrating evidence of their commitment, and 61% allies demonstrating evidence of their commitment, and 57% of you organisations demonstrating how they have invested in addressing race inequality. So we'll utilise this feedback and look to build the week thinking about these questions and responses. Has today's event helped you plan and have ideas for Race Equality Week? So 81% of you said good, a great deal, or significantly helpful for planning for Race Equality Week. Thank you all for feeding back and sharing your thoughts and honest opinions. We will review the responses and look to build Race Equality Week to enable you to have the tools and the resources that you want and need to create change. Thank you.
So as in case you don't know, we've got a new Race Equality Matters jobs board to encourage and access a greater diverse talent pool. So please do look at that. So we've got upcoming events. So next week, we've got Race Network Leads and Future Leaders events on the 29th. The focus is on reciprocal mentoring. So I know a number of people mentioned it today or are interested in it. So please do come along to that. We've got a couple of great organizations talking about that. And then there's a workshop for Tea Break, which I know a number of you are interested in during Black History Month. Okay, so as we said, we're not for profit. So a big thank you to all these organizations, absolutely crucial. To wrap up today's session, big thank you to Martine Nicola from Vale Glamorgan Trailblazers and also Denise for the previous interview, and again another Trailblazer organization, so thank you for that. Finally, if you want to keep the conversation going, we do have an online community which is free on the Guild, where you can connect with fellow change makers, swap tips, ask questions. People do share resources as well, like examples or even videos they've used to help. I'm going to use to educate or promote things in organizations. So we suggest you download it as an app on your phone because it's much more accessible there than having to log in on your thing. So it's called The Guild and it's in the link here and we'll send it after. I think that's all we have time for today. We can't wait to make Race Equality Week 2023 the most impactful yet. It's all about, action and impact. So do let us know and keep in touch. Please do let us know if you want to be a spotlight organization. We'll kind of do that. Do register on our website so you can keep up to date with everything related to Race Equality Week if you haven't already registered, and other activities. Follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter. Yeah, we want to. Please do follow us on LinkedIn because I think many of you may not be on there yet. We've got, I think, nearly 4,000 people connected there, but that's how we can amplify everything we're doing. Do take a look at our jobs board. Until then, we hope to see you in the Guild or in upcoming events. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you for your time, and best wishes all. Thank you very much.